Hey, y'all, welcome to the Road to Rich podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Rich, and today we're going to talk about all kinds of things life, community, business, and all that. And I have an incredible guest. Today is our final episode of season one, so I could not have a more fantastic guest to have with me today other than Jennifer Vigil. Jennifer, you're the CEO and the president of Destination Panama City, and there's so much that I'm aware of what you do, but can you tell a little bit to the community, the folks that may not know what Destination Panama City is all about? Can you talk a little bit about your functions and the core of what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Before I get into that, though, I am absolutely so flattered that I'm the season finale. I'm so excited.
Couldn't pick a better one.
I'm so good. Yeah, this is great. Destination Panama City is a remarkable organization, and you probably don't know this because I haven't shared it, but tomorrow we are celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Destination Panama City,
way.
which, it seems
That's
like
awesome.
a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So my anniversary was October 28th. So our board meeting tomorrow will be celebrating our 10 years of, fighting the good fight of promoting Panama City.
Doing incredible things. That's
Yeah.
incredible. I appreciate you sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's so beneficial to be on something like this because you probably have a much easier time at getting an audience, especially with like people we know and people in the community, to talk about things that are going on, because really, unfortunately, tourist development taxing dollars are mandated by the Florida statute that we're really not supposed to spend money locally, because the idea is we're an economic driver. So we're trying to bring in outside money. So all of our, when I say a good large portion of our efforts are targeted at travelers, trying to convince them that Destination Panama City will be their destination of choice.
To come here.
Yeah, to come here. So we don't really get the opportunity to tell our story unless, like I'm at a Rotary or a Lions Club or something like that. And so to be able to come on a podcast where you probably have thousands of local listeners, that's really great. But our job basically is to tell the story of Panama City. I don't think that people realize, especially for a coastal community, how much our small businesses depend on outside dollars. We all probably love going to Ferrucci's or Uncle Ernie's or shopping at Sunjammers or, having a cocktail at Heroes Lounge. But when we look at the data that supports it, about 27 to 30% of their revenue comes from outside our county.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So if you thought about what if travelers just went away?
Yeah.
It would be such a financial hit to the local places that we love, that we consider our local spots, that they wouldn't survive without it.
Yeah. That's really interesting because you think about it on the beach, definitely, because they're so tourism heavy. But over here, you almost feel like it's not understood that way. But I'm glad you're tracking the metrics because that really is impressive. Have you seen that change over time to where that number is growing?
Yes. So I consider one of our greatest metrics. So Panama City and Panama City Beach are the only two cities in the state of Florida that have a merchant fee. We all call it that 1 penny tax that we all pay. So we're the only two cities that have it, which gives us a really good baseline for how well our efforts are paying off. When Destination Panama City first started 10 years ago, the value of that 1 penny in Panama City was just over $8 million. The value of that 1 penny today is just under $14 million.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So we look at the way that we're able to promote Panama City. It brings more travelers in. It encourages more people to open small businesses. More people are shopping. And that 1 penny really helps the citizens of Panama City because that money goes to the city's general fund. So it's a really good indicator of how much success you can see by promotion and marketing.
That's incredible. Yeah. I mean, you've almost doubled it. Sounds like you will soon. So
I'm really hoping. I'm
yeah,
really hoping that we hit the mark before we hit 15 years, which would be
yeah.
ideal. But trying to, like you just mentioned, trying to convince locals, especially, that tourism exists on this side of the bridge, because I think when you're here, we all think, oh, it's the beach.
Well, I think it's been changing though. Like in the last 5 years, especially in Panama City, you know, it feels different. It feels like
Right.
it's more that way. Like we're drawing people in, and a lot of that is improvements to St. Andrews and downtown, and some of the incredible things that are happening over here. Events that y'all are helping to put on,
Right.
and we'll talk about some of those things in a little bit. But it is not the same city that it was 10 years ago. We're
Absolutely
definitely
not.
evolving. So
Right. I think probably when you bought these buildings
mhm.
downtown, everyone probably thought you were
They
crazy.
did,
Yeah.
yes,
I mean, lowest price per square foot you could get, because a lot of
yeah,
people didn't want to come downtown.
yeah.
So it took a lot of convincing, especially, a lot of people think that we're part of city government, and we're
Mhm.
not. We're a standalone 501c6. So everything that we do with the city of Panama City is more kind of like an advocate.
Yeah.
We're advocating for the small business owners. We're
Yeah.
advocating for the events, and trying to convince our leadership that these are the things worth investing in,
Yeah.
that the citizens have to be proud. You never hear, my favorite thing to tell people when I go out and talk in the community is, you've never heard someone say, man, my city sucks. And then you put that on your bucket list of places to go.
Yeah.
Like, you hear about a great place to live is a great
Yeah.
place to visit. So
Yeah,
when you
for
hear
sure.
people talk with pride about the community they live in, you want to go there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One thing I'm super proud of what y'all have done in that period of time and working with our folks in the community is, you know, 15, 20 years ago, I felt like this side of the bridge didn't have a clear identity of what we were, right?
Yep.
And I think the efforts of what Destination Panama City and some of the businesses in our area have worked to do is you kind of know what we are now. Like this authentic hometown, like, you know, personal, like, you know, just that feel of what we are. It's evolved so much that I feel like we have a much clearer identity of who we are. And that's a tribute to the work you've done. So
So we call it developing the personas,
mhm.
and we have so many of them. And the data,
Mhm.
is really what sort of leads the path on that.
Mhm.
So I very much appreciate the fact that I came into the tourism industry when I did,
Yeah.
because had it been 40 years ago, I probably wouldn't have been good at it, because I'm not an
Yeah.
artist. I'm
Yeah.
not, but now it's all behavioral science.
Yeah.
So you can tell by the Big Brother data, your cell phone trail, your
Mhm.
credit card trail, your cars,
Yeah.
anything that you have that has technology in it, realistically is telling us where you're going, where you're spending your time.
Mhm.
And, money isn't the only commodity, your time is.
Yeah,
So
for
when
sure.
we see how long your dwell time is at a certain place, we know, what your age range is, what
Mhm.
your income range is, whether or not you have kids. So we
Yeah.
kind of have a persona of who you are and what you like to do, so we can really scientifically
Yeah.
target our ads for those people.
The science of marketing these days is incredible. And I
Really.
love the data side of it. It's so
Mhm.
fascinating that we can narrow down to a very specific type of person, interest, where they're at. I mean, like it's unbelievable. And you can do that for each of those different segments of, you know, what's going on in the community. And
Right.
and I love that side of digital marketing. You know,
Yeah,
it's
we
fascinating.
we have the people that are, the social butterflies.
Mm,
They want to be where the crowd is. We have people that are cultural. They want things like the symphony and the art galleries.
hmm
We have the definite foodies. We have the young adventurers that want to go to the farmer's market, but also want to go to the escape room
hmm
or an arcade. And so it's very fun and also interesting to see. Like, obviously, if you're in marketing, you have to give up what you like, because everything that I like isn't necessarily what our personas would like.
hmm
So you have to tell yourself, I'm not the one. I am not the customer
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I need to be talking to Joan, who, for us, Joan is a more of a luxury traveler.
Yeah.
She is wanting to go to the symphony. She's wanting to go to Paul Brink Gallery. She's wanting to go to El Weirdo because it's the largest mural installation in Florida, in Northwest Florida. So those kind of things. She's generally older. Sometimes traveling with her girlfriends and not necessarily a spouse. So when I think about it, I have to think about Joan as a real person that I would give advice to.
No, that's just a great use of marketing resources that way. Yeah. And I'm sure over time you've really just honed in on who that is and the clarity of who that is.
Right.
As you collect more and more data, I'm sure it's abundantly clear to you at this point who your people are.
Right. Yeah. It's fun. I love the science. I love nerding out on it. Love the spreadsheets. Love everything about it.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
So when you started 10 years ago and we weren't what we are today, I mean, what drew you to this job, and why are you so passionate about getting into it and doing the things that you do?
Okay, don't cry. But I've always lived in Bay County. I came here 30 years ago and just immediately had a feeling that this was the place I was supposed to be. So however life worked out, I was only supposed to be here for 8 months. It's 30 years later.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love Bay County. And I don't know, 15 years ago, I got a job at Visit South Walton. And getting that job was serendipitous in and of itself because I had never worked in tourism. The person that hired me only knew that I was really good at data analytics. And I was hesitant about taking that job. But when I started, I was like, I love tourism.
Yeah.
This is an economic driver. This makes a difference in local people's lives. It helps small businesses. It's the bright side of government, really. It's positivity all the way around.
Yeah.
And then I was working at South Walton, and somebody from Panama City called me and said, we're going to start our own TDC, our own Tourist Development Council, and we'd like for you to apply for it. And I was like, oh, wow, well, that sounds so nice, but I currently work at the 8th largest DMO in Florida, and this is going to be a DMO that doesn't even exist. And then I started thinking about it, and challenge drives me.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'm going to be the only one of my colleagues that I know that actually started a destination marketing organization from the ground up. And that sounded great. But more than that, my oldest daughter was in college. My youngest daughter was in high school. And it was that point, like, you're a parent, you're going to go through this. There's a point in time of panic when you realize your kids are in the beginning stages of making choices about their future.
Yeah.
And
that's wild.
I moved 1,100 miles away from my family because I felt like there was better opportunity and a better quality of life here.
Yeah.
And I all of a sudden had a realization that if Panama City did not change, it was a high likelihood that my daughters were not going to find the quality of life and the opportunities that they needed to keep them here. And I did not want them moving 1,100 miles away.
Man, that is so awesome you say that, because I feel the same way, Jennifer. Like, and part of like why I'm so involved in the things that I am in the community too is because I don't want to get 20, 30 years down the road and my kids want to move somewhere else and don't have the opportunity to stay here if they want to, right?
Yeah.
And that's opportunities, and it's like lifestyle things and all this. Like, man, it's our job to create that here.
It's our job to create the future here. Yeah. I mean, look, we're making so many strides. Gulf Coast, the things that John Holdnack and now Glenn McDonald are doing at Gulf Coast College and Dean Hanna and Irvin Clark are doing at FSU. Those are monumentous things that we have. We have some of the brightest minds in engineering being taught at FSU PC. We have the most PhDs per capita at the Navy base, and we can't keep our kids here and give good opportunities. We were missing something.
Yeah.
So our generation needs to be the generation that puts that back so that we can reestablish like the family unit. I feel like people that are our generation drifted away from home.
Yeah.
And it sort of kind of like broke down those values that make us a strong country.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that,
I think
family is paramount.
This is the perfect place to do it too, because of the way that the people of this community are, and they're kind and generous and family oriented. This is a great place for that to happen.
It really is.
Yeah.
You can't ask for a better community. I mean, coming here from New York 30 years ago, it did not fit in that well. And, my accent was much thicker. I didn't know what youngins were. I didn't know what Fixin' 2 was. So it has been a really long journey, but some of the friends I made the first 3 months I was here are the friends that I still go and watch football games with.
Lifelong friends.
Yeah, I love it here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you and I are both now locals. I've been here 25 years. You're 30 some. So yeah, we're locals now.
Long enough to be local.
You got it. So,
yeah.
Yeah. With all of the significant growth that's been happening in the community, what do you think the biggest contributors to those things over the last 5 years have been?
Everybody hates this when I say the answer. Hurricane Michael.
Yeah.
My job was actually a lot more difficult before Hurricane Michael.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just human nature. There's really a resistance to change.
Absolutely.
And when Hurricane Michael forced change, then people thought, well, was I happy with the way things were?
Yeah.
Or would I be happier with the way things could be?
I tell people it took inaction off the table.
It did.
That was no longer an option. We had to do something.
Yeah. And so as much as for economically, I hate, it makes me sound heartless when I say this, but I had a boss a long time ago when I was in the engineering world that used to say, let no good disaster go unutilized.
Yeah.
And it's just the way economy works that whenever there is a natural disaster of any kind, there is an automatic inpour of funds. There's an economic spike after every natural disaster that we have. So the fact that we could not just utilize the economic benefit from it, but the change in position from the locals of being, what am I looking at for the future? Yeah. It was remarkable.
Yeah, and that's an opportunity for us to make it what we want it to be, right? Because we had to do something, and it was like, all right, well, now that we have to pick a direction, let's put our heads together and figure it out. And we had the charrettes and those kind of things, and I think the energy from the community really helped formulate what that would be. And it's interesting what you said is I have a client that does disaster recovery. He travels around the world, and his company does disaster recovery for businesses and communities and stuff like that. And he told me right after the hurricane, he goes, man, he said, you're not going to believe it in a couple of years, but all of this energy that now is going to get poured into new construction and all this, he said, you're going to look back and it's going to become a better place. And it's hard to see that today. That's what he said to me. He goes, but it will. Yeah. And it sure as heck has,
So my heart was so full during the charrettes because there were over 300 people. Yeah. 300 people willing to put in their time and spend time in the community to talk about, hey, let's see what the future looks like. Yeah. I do think when the hurricane happened, I think being a transplant helped because coming from New York, trees lose leaves every single year. And there had not been a year that I was here in Florida where all the trees looked bare. And I think for some people that live here, they had never seen trees that looked, it was traumatic for them. Yeah. And in my head, it just looks like winter, but spring follows winter and the trees will come back. Yeah. And it was, I mean, now I walk through Oaks by the Bay Park and it's still a beautiful park. Yep.
for sure.
Trees are coming back. People are coming back.
Yeah.
New businesses are coming in.
Do you think, given your role, that during the charrettes you learned a lot about the people of Panama City and what they want and what they want to see through that process? Did you bring that into your job and the direction you go with things?
So in my job, I was counting because we have our 10-year coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I was counting the other day how many board members I've had in the 10 years. In just the 10 years, it's been 16 board members.
Yeah.
And over the course of my 30-year career, I can't tell you how many I've forgotten how many politicians I've worked for over the course of 30 years. And the one thing that I learned is how to be a really good observer.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't get 5 people in a room and have them all agree.
Yeah.
And so to watch the charrettes and see very passionate people on both sides of a particular issue or a particular initiative, it was always interesting to me to say, I think this side has more chance of surviving.
Yeah.
This side is going to put in more work.
Yeah.
They're going to, mobilize the community. They're going to do research.
Yeah.
They're going to advocate. And you can kind of tell whether or not someone's like just complaining or whether or not someone is really driven to make a project happen.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's nice.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see it. And I can tell by the way they act in community meetings and how collaborative they are, basically how successful they'll be. And it's kind of like watching my own personal Netflix show to see them grow. And I don't ever want to be like the spoiler to be like, in 3 years, you're really going to appreciate all of the effort that you put in.
Yeah.
But I love watching it happen.
When it was going on, I remember it made me feel so good. It was such a pivotal moment, in my opinion, of this community and how we are, because we really we had different opinions, but at the same time, we were cooperative, working together. Yep. And I felt like everybody had the same passion for making something incredible happen here. And that was really an inspirational moment. And what's really cool to me is the people that were involved in those. I've seen over the years them continue to step up into leadership positions and to help not just talk about us being a better town, but to help make that happen. And that's been a beautiful thing to see, people stepping into, elected positions and positions where, they're affecting real change in our community. And that's what you got to do to make it a place where our kids want to be 20, 30 years from now, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And I really think that it's the positivity is contagious, but it also grows in momentum.
Yeah.
Where negativity is depleting. It exhausts itself. Those people get tired. Those people fall off. So the people that just have an illogical amount of faith in, their initiative and where they're going and the vision of what the community looks like, they're just their hearts are growing and it's getting bigger and it's traveling through the community. Yeah. There's so many people now. Like if there's one negative comment on Facebook, there's 7 people that'll be like, hey, you haven't been downtown lately. And that just makes my heart so happy to see the community defending itself. Yep. Yeah. They're champions.
Yep. Absolutely. So as you go forward, what does the next 5 to 10 years look like from your standpoint? What are you looking forward to seeing?
An active, vibrant waterfront. I used to give, when I first started, you would think that my speeches would be champion of cheerleading. And it was really like telling people the position they were in. Panama City, the day that I started, Panama City was the only city in Northwest Florida that had a negative population trend. Every other city in Panama City or every other city in Northwest Florida was growing. Yeah. And
I remember Mark McQueen saying at one point that we hadn't grown in almost 30 years or something like that, which is insane.
Flatlined. Everything else was growing. Panama City was not growing.
Not anymore.
And not anymore. Yeah. I mean, think about this. Before the hurricane, if you walked into a restaurant, you probably knew 80% of the people in the restaurant. Yeah. Right?
Yep.
Everybody. We knew everybody. Now I feel like I know a lot of people in town. I can walk into a restaurant. I know less than 10% of the people there.
Yeah.
It's amazing
That's a
to
good
me.
thing. Yeah.
It is. It's nice to see new faces. It's nice to see new believers. It's nice to see new champions.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what is a thing to me, and I say it almost every time I go downtown now. Is like you go down on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and it's tough to find parking.
Right.
And I'm like, man, this is awesome.
It's a good thing.
Like we had to go like park a block or two over to find a parking spot. Like,
Yeah.
that's such an incredible thing because you go there 10 years ago. Or
Ghost town.
Parking everywhere.
Yeah, ghost town.
You park right in front of wherever you want to go.
More cars than people.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that way anymore.
No.
Things are changing, and y'all are a big part of that. And you've helped in events that we have going on in the community and been a part of those things. You do a ton of things around the community. Are there certain events that are coming up in the next year or so that you're really looking forward to?
One of the events that is right around the corner is Boat Parade of Lights.
Mm-hmm.
Always one of my favorite events every year. It is something different. There's a lot of communities that can't have a Boat Parade of Lights. So I feel like it really brings people out to the waterfront. It brings people downtown. It brings people to St. Andrews and Papa Joe's. And so I really enjoy that event. But what I miss that waiting to pull the trigger is we really want to go back to full waterfront activity. Before the hurricane, we used to do some fishing tournaments and things like that. But over the last couple of years, knowing that at some point in time, these slips are coming back in and these marinas are going to get developed. We are constantly looking for partners and how to position ourselves to have like a major boat show. Yeah. I really feel like
down at the marina here,
down at the Panama City Marina. I think that we have such good amenities. I mean, they can be fabulous, but we have such good bones for things that would really bring people in market. And, the waterfront lifestyle, it's, what's that old saying? Salt cures everything, whether it's in your sweat, in your tears, or in the air.
No, I like that.
Yeah. So I feel like hard work and dedication and really coming back to, the salt life of waterfront communities is the way to go. So really looking forward to that.
We're such a unique, downtown in St. Andrews because you have things where you can have events and you have the waterfront right there and it's walkable. And, we really have an opportunity to grow it into something that is truly, truly one of the most special downtown type areas that, you can go to. And it's so authentic. You go places and, they all have a different feel, but ours, there's not big box stores. It's locally owned stuff almost entirely, right? Yep. And the restaurants and the shops that you go to and all that, it's so authentically us. Right. And that is the most beautiful part of this redevelopment of our town, and especially our downtown, is there's so much of that going on. And if you want a unique experience about what Panama City is, right? Just come here, like spend a couple nights, and you'll get that.
It makes me happy when visitors come into the visitor center and say, we had no idea this was here. It's been so nice exploring the real Panama City. Yeah. Because, it was a struggle those first few years trying to convince people there was actually things to do on the east side of the bridge. And realistically, what a different vibe it is. Yeah. Totally different vibe.
Well, and it's some of the investments in there and the renovations and the things that people have done and the energy that goes into there. The streetscape is something that's wrapping up. And I think by the time this episode comes out, I think it's going to be where, the streetscape is open. Based on what Steven told me.
It's going to be great.
No, and it's so beautiful. Like, do you feel that that's a big game changer for downtown?
Immensely. Yeah. The walkability of an area where someone can park their car and then go to 6, 7, 8 different shops, get lunch, go listen to music. It really supports the patio culture, which is, that's a whole vibe in and of itself. People want to be outside. People want to see passersby. People want to be able to walk around in the social district with their beer or their cocktail while they stroll through the farmers market.
Yeah.
It's, being outside but still feeling like part of a community is something only patio cultures can accomplish.
Well, now they have the opportunity to, go down there and stay at the Indigo for the weekend and walk around. And, like it's a great weekend visit place. You can go and spend a couple of days and have a great time. And, can't ask for a more beautiful waterfront to be at.
Yeah, the Indigo is the jewel of the bay.
Yeah.
That is a phenomenal property. Ethan's done such a good job with that and Harrison's. There's been so many events out there. They just, not too long ago, we had the jet boat community come in.
Oh, yeah.
And we have
That's a pretty cool event. I just learned about that.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I also think not a lot of locals realize how many groups come, whether they're reunions or sports groups or military groups, religious groups, girls' weekends, bachelorette weekends, bachelor trips, to go out deep sea fishing or to go diving. All of those things happen, and we kind of don't realize it because we're here every day. But it's super cool to see.
Well, that's a good reason to move here because
it's a great
it is
reason to
awesome.
move here.
Like I can't imagine living somewhere else because I lived in Maryland, like Baltimore, D.C. area before I moved down here, and I know you've lived in larger cities before, and I would never give up our lifestyle. To go back to something like that. I just wouldn't. Like I want more of it all the time.
So most recently, with the city expanding the golf cart districts, my favorite expression is life at 22 miles an hour is the best life. Alan Branch's dad, Jimmy, in that golf cart riding around.
I love Jimmy. He's driving people all over downtown.
Giving people rides during songwriters. He's a volunteer.
He just loves doing it.
He does. And it just makes me so happy.
And Jimmy will drive you around and talk to you the whole time. And it's beautiful. He is like an ambassador of Panama City.
Oh, he comes in the office and picks up visitor's guides because he's going to be chauffeuring somebody and he wants to give them all the information possible.
Nah, man, I love him, man. He's a treasure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's the people that make the place, but the place is amazing now. It's glorious.
So where we're going, what untapped potentials do you still see for us?
Oh, so I feel like right after the hurricane, everyone was like reinvigorated. But I feel like with each baby step, the community thinks more is possible. Yeah. And so, we're getting the Martin Theater back. When that opens, it's going to be the jewel of downtown. Yeah. It'll be brilliant.
Do they have a tentative date on kind of what they're thinking on that?
I think that they were saying summer of 2026
Beautiful.
Is the last I heard. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah.
And there's going to be a rooftop bar on it, right?
At the Tennessee Tennessee room, and then so and the fact that they're keeping it period era appropriate for when it was in its heyday, back when it was the Ritz when it originally opened. I mean, those are the kind of things that make a place special. Yeah. And but I think with each one of these baby steps, the vision of the community grows. So, I wouldn't be surprised, right now, Commissioner Brian Granger is pushing for us to do a feasibility study around the old Panama City Mall property to look at it for, potential, what it could be. Yeah. Obviously, that's where the majority of hotels already are. Yeah. So if it did turn into, a convention center or a conference center or an exhibition hall or something like that, that would be amazing. We did lose the Marina Civic Center. Yeah. So being able to go back and have something that allowed for larger attendance, that would be great. I do know some of our nonprofits really still struggle because of the loss of the Marina Civic Center. Yeah, for sure. So, and a lot of people don't think about the nonprofits that meet the unmet needs of the community. So, Bay Youth Music Association with Will Thompson. That is purposely, Songwriters Festival supports the Bay Youth Music Association, which puts instruments in the hands of our students to give them the opportunity to have music lessons.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The symphony has so many concerts just for our students. The Crew of St. Andrews, everyone might think, oh, they only do Mardi Gras. The Crew of St. Andrews has given back over $250,000 to this community to help it out. So without the Marina Civic Center, where the symphony can sell 3,000 tickets, they're forced into only selling 500 tickets. So they're actually really struggling and not able to meet the unmet needs. Not able to meet the unmet needs that they used to be able to support. And so I think, the long term of the community is really looking at recognizing the benefits that come from the nonprofits and really trying to be a good community partner to make sure that we have those spaces available.
Yeah. And I think that, to me, is one of those areas where that's a big hole in our community that we still need to address, is the replacement of the Marina Civic Center. And, whether that's a convention hall or whether it's, a gathering space where you can have functions and events and like that. And also that's a draw too. You talk about bringing people in. I mean, like it's crazy is there's not a lot of convention space that can be done in Bay County, right? Not like you would think with the amount of tourism we have. And so I do definitely think there's an opportunity for us on this side of the bridge to do something where we can draw those kind of people in, and just tons of opportunities there.
So we've always been advocating for it. In 2018, we were on the list of potential candidates to be the location for the NACRA Worlds. We actually had gone down and visited with a U.S. sailing organization with St. Andrews Bay. We actually have the greatest amenity because we have a deep water bay. So it is especially well suited for, regattas and things like that. And we really have a bright future with a lot of those things. And the U.S. Sailing Organization, they have an odd year, even year program. So their small is in 1 year where they have like 300 people. Their large symposium is in the opposite year. Well, we wouldn't have the infrastructure to do the large where they're attracting like 5,000 people, but their small year, they only attract about 350 people. And we didn't have a space big enough to seat 350 people for dinner. So, but we're a coastal community. People want to come for things like that. So I'm really looking forward to what the future holds. With every baby step we make, the possibilities are realized by the community and their ability to embrace a brighter future grows.
Do you think having an asset like a civic center or a convention hall, would that be a big game changer in your world?
It would most definitely.
Okay.
Right now there is no convention space, so to speak, between Okaloosa and Tallahassee. So we are definitely in a it's a missing element.
It's crazy to me that that's a gap in our area. And especially with the number of tourists that we've had for years and years and years and decades. I mean. It has to happen, right?
You would think. I mean, and I will say, conventions are getting smarter too. They recognize that they have higher registration when it's a place that people actually want to travel, because a lot of times now people are much more family oriented. They're bringing their families with them. So their families are enjoying the amenities of whatever the community has. Well, they're getting their education or doing their networking or whatever it is.
We do travel dance with the kids, and we go places, and that's on the weekends we'll go and we'll spend a weekend in Hattiesburg or Jacksonville, and it's just we're there, and we get to experience
Exactly.
that community, and those opportunities are there for us too. So
They
hopefully we
are.
seize them.
I feel like we have a really bright future. We have a lot of people that, like you were saying earlier, stepped up into leadership roles to sort of steer the ship.
Yeah.
And I just think, sky's the limit for Panama City.
Yeah, and we have such good leadership in place right now. Like
We really do.
I'm so proud of the folks that are stepped in there
Mm-hmm.
because I know their heart is so genuine about what they're trying to do, right?
Yep.
And listen, we're never all going to agree on everything,
Nope.
right? But when you have leadership that's heart driven and authentic at what they're trying to do, we're going to work out just fine.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So in your time, Destination Panama City, 10 years, what has been your most proud accomplishment of things that y'all have gotten accomplished?
Ooh. I'm most proud is going to be that we built the visitor center
Mm-hmm.
debt free.
Yeah.
So I actually sketched that on paper
Nice.
and gave it to Florida architects
Mm-hmm.
and Elizabeth and Brittany with Anchor CEI. They made the dream a reality.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I always pride Destination Panama City as being very fiscally responsible. It's tax dollars. We want to do the absolute best that we can for the community and not having to go and get any kind of debt service and still have that point of pride for this community is probably one of the proudest moments. I remember standing on that vacant lot with some of the staff members we had, and I was like, "Can you see it?" And they're like, "No."
Mm-hmm.
And Lacey Kennedy, still one of my favorite people. She's moved on. She works with identity marketing right now. I love her. She worked with us for over 5 years.
Nah, she's a wonderful fellow Star Wars nerd.
She is a Star Wars nerd. I love her. She just got married. Great girl. And I remember going into the office after it was built, and she was sitting at her desk crying, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what's wrong?" And she's like, "I remember when we were standing in the lot, and you're like, 'Can you see it?'
Yeah.
And she's like, 'And now I'm sitting in it.'"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Cool?
that just makes me so happy.
I learned a lot about you when you built that building, right? Because when you built that building, you unselfishly put your office facing towards downtown and the conference room facing towards the water. Like, if it was me, I'd have been like, man, I want to look at the water every day. But,
one of the commissioners said that when we presented the plans for the building.
They're like, don't you
One
want
of the
your office?
commissioners said, "Is this reversed?"
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
No. And they said, "Well, why isn't your office overlooking the water?" And I was like, "We need to make money.
Yeah.
We're the people that rent the building. The guests need to be able to see the water, not us."
No, that's cool.
So, yeah.
That's cool. No, it's such a beautiful place, and I've been there for different things, and it is so awesome to be able to sit there and have an event and function that's overlooking the water there, and y'all did a great job with it. So
Thanks.
definitely got a lot to be proud of with it.
It's a beautiful location. We're glad to be there.
Yeah. Awesome. So if you could communicate one thing to the residents of this community about the future of Panama City and where we're going, what would that be?
Oh, wow. Be an ambassador, not an agitator.
Yeah.
I really think that people that I'm always big on embracing positivity. I have an illogical amount of faith, and I just truly believe that if you can work together in a positive way, even if you disagree, there are ways
we don't have to agree.
There are ways to be civil and to be cordial and to communicate and collaborate. Everything's not a competition. And, the more rising tide floats all boats, the more things that we can do together, the better off we're going to be.
Yeah.
And
even with disagreement, understanding somebody else's perspective on a situation,
Right.
like we can make this what we want it to be. And without having somebody with a differing opinion, how are we ever going to get there? And so I always
Right.
look at people that have, disagreement or just different viewpoints on it. That's just more feedback and input into what we're trying to do.
It
And
is.
We're trying to do this right.
Yeah, sharpens the knife.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sharpens the sword. My dad used to say, you need to strive to live an exceptional life, not an acceptable one.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that if we're always putting our best foot forward and doing the best we can and being kind to other people, then we're going to succeed.
Yep.
There's just no other choice.
Yep. If we start strong and finish strong every day, we're going to get some stuff done here.
Exactly.
Yep. That's awesome. So if people want to get involved in stuff in the community and what Destination Panama City and other organizations are doing, how can they get in touch with you?
Oh, yeah. Anybody can absolutely always reach out to me, Jennifer at destinationpanamacity.com. I answer text, emails, everything all the time. And last year, we actually started a DPC Academy, and we really focused on the partners first that were planning events and things like that, so we could better help them hone their skills, because a good event is good. A great event is wonderful. We really want more great events and more well-tuned things. So we're here to help. And if you call up and ask to be on our partner engagement list or something like that, you can find out about all the opportunities. And we definitely take volunteers at the visitor center.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
if you want to come in and just like brag about the community for a while, come and book a few hours.
Or you can get a golf cart and hang out with Jimmy and drive people around. Yeah. Yeah, I really love that guy.
He's the unofficial ambassador of the city.
No,
for
sure. No, he needs some kind of sash or something, you know.
Exactly.
So, yeah, or maybe like a trucker cap or something. I could see him doing that. Yeah.
I just want to see a fleet of ambassador golf carts with him in the lead going down.
That would be so us to have like just a fleet of people driving around in golf carts, taking people places, and
he should take people on tours. I say it all the time. He would be so good at like taking people on tours of the community. Yeah. Now we have the really cute girl that's on the tiki bike, the little 3-wheel tiki bike.
I haven't done it, but I've seen that. That looks
so
awesome.
Cute. Yeah. Every day there's something new.
We need one of those roaming bar things that you can go around. Yeah. Man, maybe I'll start that. I need something else to do.
It'll be fun.
Awesome. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for being here today. I will say this sincerely, man. I really appreciate the work that you put in and your staff and the things that y'all do. It makes such a difference in where we're going in this community. So thank you from the bottom of my heart and from everybody that's listening. It makes a real difference.
I appreciate it. I love the community. You know, it's now my home. So I've lived here longer than I ever lived in New York, which blows my mind because I'm that old.
Goes quick.
It goes by in a blink of an eye. But being fortunate enough to live here and call it home and get to live it every day is just an honor of a lifetime. Yeah.
What a place to live.
It is.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Anytime.
Congratulations on season 1.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up. Isn't that great? Well, y'all, thank you for tuning into this season of the Road to Rich podcast. And if you enjoyed this episode, please smash that like button, share it with friends. And y'all, keep doing those things that help make our community stronger, like Jennifer's doing and what a lot of folks are doing to contribute to who we are. It makes the world a difference. And until next time and next season, y'all keep growing, keep improving your communities, and keep walking your own road to rich.